Okay, this video starts with a little bit of terminology that we didn't do in the first part and then works into some procedures where we add, subtract, and multiply. All right, so the first thing we need to do is there's two different ways that we can classify polynomials. We can classify by the number of terms and we can classify by degree. So if it's got one term, it's called a monomial, and you should know most of these, but it's a good reminder. Two terms is a binomial. Three terms is a trinomial. And if it's got four or more terms, we call it a polynomial. And actually, all of these are polynomials, but when it's got one, two, or three terms, we have a specific name for it. All right, and remember, terms are separated by plus or minus signs. Now, if we classify it by degree, and remember, degree is the highest exponent. If the highest, degree is 1, it's linear. And when we graph a linear equation, we're going to get a line. If the degree is 2, that's what our entire last chapter was about. It's quadratic. And that's what quadratic, we're going to get a parabola. And the last one, if the degree is 3, it's called cubic. And we learned that function early on at the beginning of the year when we were studying parent functions. So we've got these terminologies that you can classify polynomials with. And if you're asked to do so, you can do that. All right. Let's talk about adding and subtracting. Now on this one, we're adding. And since it's a plus sign, we don't have to change anything. All we need to do is combine like terms. But when we do it, we want to write it in standard form. So the highest one we've got is x to the 5th. So we have negative 4x to the 5th. Then we have negative 2x to the 4th. Then we've got 8x to the 3rd. Still nothing that's like terms, negative 4x squared. Finally, with the x's, I can combine those and I get 12x. And then negative 7 and negative 5 would be negative 12. So there's my polynomial. All right, and my final answer. On the next one, now we're going to subtract. So when you subtract, we're still struggling this from the last chapter. You're going to change this to a plus, and then you're going to change the sign of everything in the second parentheses. So this is plus, minus, minus. Now we can combine like terms. So negative 7y to the 4th and positive y to the 4th would be negative 6y to the 4th. Negative 6y cubed and negative y cubed be negative 7y cubed. 5y squared and 7y squared would be 12y squared. The only y is this one, negative 10y. And then 14 and negative 12 would give us 2. And now we've combined our like terms. Okay, the last one is subtraction again. So pay attention to that subtraction symbol. So do it with me. Change the subtraction to a plus, and then we're going to change the sign of every term. Now, when we're combining like terms here, we want to, that's what I was trying to say. Like terms have the same variables. Oh, excuse me. Same variables raised to the same power. I did not sleep well last night. I sincerely apologize. So it's not just good enough to have an x and a y. They all have to be raised to the same power. So let's see what we combine. So on this one, x squared, y squared. I have no more of those. So I have 3x squared, y squared. Then here I have x squared, y. No one of those. So I have minus 8x squared, y. Now, how are we going to put these in standard form? Well, when it's got multiple variables, it's not perfect. But if you see here, this has got a 2 and a 2, so that's got a degree of 4. This has got a 2 and invisible 1, so that's got a degree of 3 for that term. This is 1 and 1, so this is 2. This would be 3, 3, and 2. So we can't necessarily get in a perfect order, but we kind of have another 4s and the 3s and the 2s. So since this is at 2, we probably don't want to write it next. We want to put some of the 3s in there before we get to the 2s. So that means that we can have these two. So 7 and 12, we can add them together because it's xy squared, they're the same. So that's going to give me 19xy squared. And then finally, I've got 5xy and negative 4xy, which would be positive 1xy, or just xy. Okay, so all of these said to add or subtract. These say to multiply. And when we multiply, we add the exponents. So on the first one, 2 or x cubed times 2x squared would be 2x. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we have x to the fifth. And then we're going to have negative 4x to the fourth and 9x to the third. If we had any like terms, we'd add them together, but we don't. On the next one, same deal. Negative 2 times 3 would be negative 6. And we get x squared y cubed. And then we get positive 8 x squared y squared. And then negative 18 x cubed y squared. There's no like terms because they not only have to the same variables, but they have to be raised to the same power. So we're good. On number 4, did this a lot in algebra 1. Got a binomial times a binomial. So 4x times 2x is 8x. And we get 28xy. Now we have to multiply negative 3y times everything. So this gives us negative 6xy. If you've got more than one variable, you need to write them in alphabetical order. And then everything's going to match up like you want. And then we have minus 21y squared. This time we do have like terms right here in the middle. Oh, this is 8x squared, apologize. Okay, so this is 8x squared plus 22xy minus 21y squared. Okay, let's look at number 4. On number 4, we're multiplying a binomial times a trinomial. So let's see how this works. First, we're going to have to take x times everything. So x times x squared is x cubed. Then I have plus 10x squared and then minus 2x. Now I have to multiply 5 times everything. So I have plus 5x squared plus 50x and then minus 10. But I'm not done yet. I have to combine like terms and write it in standard order. So the highest one is x cubed. And I have 10x squared and 5x squared, which would be 15x squared. Negative 2x and 50x would be 48x. And then negative 10. On our next one, we've got another binomial times a trinomial. So first we have to multiply x times everything. So I have x cubed plus 4x squared y minus 6xy squared. Now I have to multiply everything times negative 2. So I have negative 2x squared, negative 8xy, and positive 12y squared. When I get done, I'm going to take a look at it, but I don't have any like terms, so I'm just going to leave it as is. Okay, number 6, I'm multiplying 3 binomials, but you cannot multiply more than 2 things at a time. So you're going to have to multiply 2 of them, get an answer, and then multiply that answer by the third. So I'm going to start with the first 2. Okay, so I get x squared plus x plus 3x plus 3. Okay, this part here hasn't changed, it's just x minus 2. But before I multiply by that last binomial, I want to combine like terms. So in the middle, I get x squared plus 4x plus 3. And then I still have this one that I need to deal with. And so now I'm going to multiply the binomial times the trinomial. So first I'm going to multiply x times everything. So I have x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3x. Now I'm going to multiply everything by negative 2. So I have negative 2x squared, negative 8x, and negative 6. Combine like terms and put it in standard form. So I have x cubed and then 2x squared and minus 5x plus 6. Okay, you're going to see that again in just a second. All right, on this last section, we need to square and cube. So when you square something, it means to multiply it by itself. If you write x squared plus 49 for your answer, you would be absolutely wrong. And let me show you why. X minus 7 is really x minus 7 times x minus 7. When something's squared, it means multiply by itself. So now we need to distribute. So I get x squared minus 7x plus 49. I combine like terms. The middle terms do not cancel out. I get a 14, and it's very important that that's included. And then this is my final answer. Okay, let's try this again on number 2. So I'm going to write my 2 binomials because when it's squared, it means multiply 2 times. So you have negative 3x plus 2 times negative 3x plus 2. And now I need to multiply. So I get positive 9x squared minus 6x plus 4. But I can combine like terms. So I have 9x squared minus 12x plus 4, and then we're done. Okay, now if squaring means you're going to multiply it twice, then cubing it means you're going to multiply it 3 times. So this is going to be x plus 3 times x plus 3 times x plus 3. Now remember, when you're multiplying these, you can only do 2 things at a time. So I'm going to do the first 2, get an answer, and then multiply by the third. So when I do the first 2, I'm going to get x squared plus 3x plus 9. Then this one, I'm just going to carry straight down. I haven't used it yet. Simplify in the parentheses. So I get x squared plus 6x plus 9. And this is x plus 3. Now I'm going to multiply the binomial times the trinomial. Okay, this one just got carried straight down. And when I do this, first I'm going to multiply everything by x. So I get x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x. Now I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So plus 3x squared plus 18x plus 27. Okay, we're going to combine like terms and write it in standard form. So I have x cubed and 9x squared and 27x plus 27. All right, last one. It's a cube. That means you've got to write it 3 times. So this is x minus 4, and x minus 4. So now we're going to multiply. So I get x squared minus 4x plus 16. This one just gets carried straight down. I haven't used it yet, but before I'm going to multiply it, I want to combine like terms and simplify. So I get x squared minus 8x plus 16. And now I can multiply by the third binomial. So first I have to multiply everything by x. So I get x cubed minus 8x squared plus 16x. And now I need to multiply everything by negative 4. So I have negative 4x squared plus 32x minus 64. And then we combine like terms, writing in standard form. So I have x cubed. Oh, it just froze on me. So you can go there.